Hello, welcome to Arcade Couch, the best places where your friends get your game goodness each and every Monday. Usually this episode's late. My name's Dylan Blyton. Joining me, Ashley Holbrook.
Hey Dylan, excited to be here, even if it is late, you know? Some of us will show up late for stuff and power through.
Yeah?
Yeah, whiz kidding.
That's right.
Yeah.
This week, Avowed and State of Play. That's pretty much it.
Mm.
So, start with Avowed. How do you? I'll put it this way. How's your reaction been to the Avowed drop? Do you think it's been more positive than you thought it would be?
I think it's about where I expected it to be. Like, some people are a little bit more positive, and some people are a little bit more negative. And I think we all believe that Obsidian was going to deliver something of quality. So it's not surprising to see it getting a lot of high scores, including from you over at ExplosionNetwork.com.
Well, yeah. Talking about quality, how about a Koalaty Critic score? Which is 9.0 if you want to go over that.
Yeah. Let's see. Being viewed as Obsidian's Skyrim and also a way for the developer to reignite their what was thought dormant lore and world they built around Pillars of Eternity and their sequel, there's been a mix of feelings coming to Avowed. Preview coverage was good, but there was also an eerie feeling of confusion anytime it is shown in Xbox showcases. Set in the same world as Pillars of Eternity, Aurora. You play as an envoy who is sent to the Living Lands to look into and hopefully stop some mysterious disease that is spreading and also claim it for the Emperor of Adir. Normally, when I write these articles, I give like an overall summary of everybody's thoughts, but there's not one here because I didn't write it.
Maybe you should have done it then. Stop fucking.
I was at work, you know.
I was
on a plane.
I was doing this
or in a lounge.
Other things. Yeah, I got it done. Skim through some of the.
Let's see. Checkpoint over at Checkpoint Gaming, Luke Mitchell gave it a 9.5. Said, where many games falter in offering bigger and more, Avowed smartly focuses on its strengths, making for a breezy yet vibrant RPG that feels polished, intelligent, offering lots to do, but never outstaying its welcome. Leah Williams over at Games Hub gave it a 4.5 out of 5. Marius, Jada, and Yazel. I don't know. Follow. All intriguing companions in their own right, helping you to shape your journey across the Living Lands, pointing out the flaws in your direction, questioning your leadership. Luke Henderson and Maxi Geet said, it is not hyperbole to say that I honestly think this world is one of the best I have ever had the pleasure to explore in a game. Jess Salmon over at Player 2 gave it a B+, and said, no choice I made an Avowed ever felt quite like the right one or the correct one, and this seems to be by design. Your envoy, as well as being a character aesthetically molded by you and a solid character creator at the game start, is however you make them. And then our good friend James Wood over at Well Played gave the lower score with a 6 out of 10 and said, Avowed seemed uninterested in being anything but escapism. Its potentially sharper edges smooth to a fault, while its revolving door forgettable, entirely too pleasant. Characters prattle about you with proper nouns and lore in the place of depth and vitality.
Yeah, so I feel like so coming in at a 9, my score itself was a 9, I think, right? Yeah, 9. So
yeah,
my score is right on the average, as it so worked out to be. Most of the scores that obviously the Australian critics.
I think I need to go back over this math.
The maths. I used your spreadsheet.
I don't know. It doesn't look right.
Oh, I used your spreadsheet. So I really enjoyed the game though. I came into it thinking it would be all right, and I left enjoying it a lot more than I initially thought I would be. The game is though, and I think not in a bad way. Not that I struggle with it, but there is almost I feel like there's so many fantasy games like this that you can start, and they just start using very like they're like, you know, gnomes, elves, fucking you know, all these things that just tick either stuff you've seen in Skyrim, Lord of the Rings, I don't know, whatever the other big fantasy properties are, and I feel like you can adapt and fall into the world a lot easier than some other things. With this game, it starts, and because it is pulling from this Pillars of Eternity lore, neither of which I hadn't played either of those games, and not that this is connected to it, but just because they had built such a big world with that. This game does start, and it starts like throwing out ideas and stuff that just feels very different, or at least it did to me, to other fantasy stuff. So a lot of the characters talk around, they'll say the names of all these places like a deer and all these other places. At some point someone's like the Deadlands, and I'm like, oh, that's the subtitle of the second game, so that's where that game's set, I guess, or Pillars of Eternity too. The good thing is, in this game, at any point, you can actually bring up a menu that gives a definition for all these nouns that are getting thrown out, which is quite handy, and you can just scroll down that, and before you make your next choice, if you're like, what the hell is this person even talking about? It starts like building out. I think that's one of the things I liked earlier, was just feeling like the world felt quite rich to me. Lots of stuff happening, even if you're only in this little section, where the game's taking place. This lost, the living land, where it's sort of where people go to escape, is what they sell it as. This is an area that's not governed by anyone. There's no particular political regime or like anything going on here. The place is sort of made up of 4 different areas, and each of those 4 areas are sort of looked after by their own mayor, and everyone sort of, or leader of some sort, but everyone sort of sticks to themselves. There's no like overarching system to the way it works. And you're coming in to investigate this disease that has people turning into, I don't know, zombies, basically, I guess, like the crazed creatures charging around. So you're coming in to look after that, and you're also coming in to help. There's some other people there already trying to look into that, and also solve and hopefully get the living lands under the Emperor's banner for a deer. Now, at the start of the game, you get a lot of choices for your envoy, which is really cool. So you get to pick like the backstory of where you came from, so the type of person you are. Maybe you were brought up as the fucking mage right hand sort of person there. Maybe studied in a certain place. Maybe you're a loner who read a lot of books. All these things, which does play into the sort of choices you can make throughout the game, and obviously affects your like stat points when you start. You don't get to pick your what would you call it? Like your race, I guess. In this game, however, you are always a godlike, which I've started and played like the first. I've only managed to just jump in and have a quick look at the first 30 minutes of the first Pillars of Eternity game after finishing this. And it's quite interesting because in that, a godlike is an option as someone you can play, but there's like, 9, 10 other races as well. Everything from humans, elves, fucking all the usual sort of shit you'd find in these sorts of worlds. But godlikes are these people that are touched at a very young age by gods, because these games exist where there's like all these different gods. I think there's like 10 or something like that. And because of that, they have sometimes all special abilities and stuff, but also they have like markings. So you get to pick those when you start the game too. So, and you look really fucking weird. The idea is like godlikes always just look fucking weird. There's actually a tick box in the game where you can choose to hide it, but it's only hiding it for you, and everyone will still react to you. So like when you first start talking to people in the game, you walk up to people and people will literally just be like, holy fuck, what the Jesus Christ, what do you look like, you weirdo? But even if you've chosen to hide your it's like a, I don't know, like a fungus growing off the side of your head, you don't really get a choice about it. So that's quite interesting.
Like the last
and I also think it's huh?
Like The Last of Us, or
I mean, kinda, I guess. Like, I don't know, there's definitely some wild options if you flick through the way you can. I mean, you can play the game third person. It's the only time you really see it in the conversation. But yeah, everyone reacts to it. But I find it funny that the game lets you hide it. If you're like, fuck, I'm so ugly, I don't want to look at myself. But every character's gonna react to you anyway. So that's funny. Yeah, but I also think it's quite interesting that this is for this genre that the game doesn't give you a choice about this. So it's like narratively, if everyone's comparing it to Skyrim, I guess, and that's it's the hey, this is Obsidian Skyrim and that's what it's been since I think the second they announced the game. But the thing with this is, you start Skyrim, it's just a blank slate. You're just a dude. You start the game, you roam off. You sort of there's no backstory to you. Like how did you get on that carriage? I don't know. You just off you go, sort of thing. Whereas this, and I think that's what makes the story a lot more interesting. Is from the get go, you're arriving there, and people are reacting to you because they know what you've been sent by the Emperor. They know you've been sent by the Emperor. They know they don't like Adir because Adir's coming in to basically try and take over this place. And they don't like the look of you because you look fucking weird. Like there's all these like elements that already sort of set up characters' relationships to react to in certain ways, which is different and interesting for this. So I mean, without spoiling it, I think the game gets very interesting. There's a lot of stuff that happens in the back end that I really liked, especially as the game delves more into its ideas about, I guess, this world's religion and stuff, which, I mean, considering it forces you to play as a god, like, I don't think it's, too crazy to say the game goes heavy into what the gods are in this world and stuff like that. It's also this world, the aura, the setting, everyone knows that they get reincarnated, which is also, and I know this is something from Pillars of Eternity. It's not something like is new to Avowed, but I found that very interesting as well. Just the idea that every person roaming around, they talk about how when they die they go back to the wheel, and it's just a known thing and accepted that when you die, you will get reincarnated. You won't remember your past life, but it also just changes, I think, the way that people react and do things within this world, because it's just like they'll come back again, sort of thing. There's a character who's introduced early as like basically this crazy fucking badass general, I guess, or whatnot, that's like sort of also been sent there to help carry the line. Now you can play against this character or play with this character. Like you can sort of play this game how you want. You can play it and be the biggest nastiest piece of shit and just want to kill everyone in the living lands and take it over for the Emperor if you want, or these are choices you can make. This person's definitely like, I'll burn everyone here to take it for the Emperor. But this character is someone who has made a deal with the god they believe in, that every time they die, their god actually brings them back to life, and they keep their memories. So that's like a weird thing that's just accepted and known. Lots of little interesting lore tidbits. Getting away from story because there's not much I can say without spoiling. The combat I also think is surprisingly good, considering every time I watched the trailer I was just like, I don't know, like it just looks fine. I know you got a sword. I don't know. Again, it just looks like Skyrim. But I think that's just a choice of what they were showing as well, because the game has guns if you want to go down that road. Like, I mean, you can be two-handing rifles in this game. You can have a shield in one arm and a one-handed pistol in the other, and then when people come in to attack you, you can like parry their attacks and then blast them in the face with the gun afterwards. Or you can be playing with a wand and a shield, a wand and a gun. Like there's there's all these different ways to do it. I spent most of the game playing as, I guess, what you'd call like a battle mage sort of thing. Gave me no option to parry, but I was carrying, so I'd always make sure I had like you can get spell books, and the spell books will have like 4 spells assigned in them. So it's like you hold down the left back trigger on the Xbox controller, and then you can use the face buttons to cast 1 of 4 spells off that. However, you can also use the skill point you unlock to permanently unlock a spell, and then like hotkey that to the D-pad. So very early in the game, I figured out, well, if I'm playing the game a lot like this, I just don't have a way to parry, and I lose a lot of my defensive capabilities. But there's a spell that puts a shield on you for 20 seconds. I'm like, well, I need to like hotkey that so I have access to it no matter what spell book I have, and then I could switch my spell book to one with more offensive spells. And then basically every time I'd go into a fight, I'd like cast this spell on me, so I got a shield for 20 seconds, and then I got an ice spell, a fire spell, electric spell. What they have by the end of the game, there was another one that was like a suck people up into the air in like a vortex. And then my right hand, I just had a light sword, so just like rain spells on people, go hand with weapons. I put most of my skill points into actually upgrading my mana pool, basically. So I was like all in on that, so I could just cast a shit ton of spells. I couldn't swing my sword around a heap because I put too much into stamina, so I'd sort of wear out there faster than other things. But I definitely felt like the game had a lot of options how to play. I mean, there's a whole bunch of gun skills I didn't really go down. But if you do want to experiment, it only costs like I think 1,500 gold, and you can respec at any point in the game if you get like halfway through the game and you're like, you know what, actually I would prefer to be playing, or I put a lot of points into these skills that are just absolutely trash, and you change your mind, then you can change them from there. The world's cool to explore as well. I mean, I definitely feel like it does an interesting thing that might annoy some people, which is that although you can like if once you select a quest, be it a side quest or a main quest, it'll have an icon on the map telling you where to go. But if you open the map and you see an area you haven't uncovered and just want to go look there, there's no way to put custom markers on the map. It sort of just relies on you going, just I will walk and I will find out what's in the fog ahead, sort of thing. And then I think another thing that a lot of people I've seen really enjoy, which is good, it doesn't have scaling enemies or whatever the official terminology is. I can't remember. But that means that like you start the game in the first area. By the time you get to the third area or whatever, if you decide to go back and do like a side quest from one of the early areas in the game where you might have been getting your ass kicked, the enemies haven't actually leveled up to the same level as you. They're going to be the same level, so you're just fucking kicking their ass very, very easily. But which I found that's good because it gives you that feeling like you get more powerful as the game progresses and stuff. What was the other thing I was going to say? It looks good. I don't think it looks like fantastic. Like it looks solid, but doesn't look anything too crazy. Still some weird looking character models at times, but I don't think it's anything on the realm of. There's no glitches or anything I had, or But I think that's the crazy thing. It's people like, this is Obsidian's Skyrim, but it comes out and I don't have my game bugging out or all this sort of shit that we've all come to expect from Bethesda games like this now. So that's a huge positive to me. So all the companions are great. I mean, if you come off the Outer Worlds, you'll have. We in particular love that one. I can't remember the character's name, but the girl from
the Ashley Birch character.
Yeah, the Ashley Birch character from that game had really great side stories and stuff like that. I think this game also has 4 great companions. They like hit things off strong from the outset. They do a really good job of just getting your first companions like great. Then go on. I think one of them can come across as the least interesting unless you choose to do some of his side quests, which I did and I actually mentioned it in my review. But he has like a whole side quest where he is the dwarf of your group, but he's like, and he's like, I'm a badass and fucking whatever else. But then one of his side quest storylines you can do in the last area of the game is like sort of him dealing with returning home, and like he actually has panic attacks and everything, and you'll be walking along with him and he'll be saying like how he can't breathe, and you sort of have to coax him along and tell him it's okay. And well, that's what I did anyway. I guess you could do whatever. You could tell him he's a fucking little bitch if you want. I don't know how you want to choose to play the game. That's up to you. Yeah, I think on the side the companions you get are really good. It is the same thing as Outer Worlds, I think, where you basically like you have 4 companions, but you can only bring 2 of you at a time. So DevDiver 2 get left at the game's quote-unquote camp, where you can do other things like upgrade your weapons and stuff. And this game is heavy on weapon upgrading. Like, your characters will just yell at you all the time. If you're fighting enemies and they're higher leveled than your gear is, you'll just have your companions being like, you need better armor. Oh, man, you're not doing much damage, or all this sort of stuff. So it's either like go find a way to make money and buy a better weapon, or upgrade the one you got. So, because you'll get like a negative, like if you're trying to attack enemies that have higher gear level than you, it's like you get negative 30% damage, or like something that does make it quite annoying. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. I like to the fact that I enjoyed the story as much as I did was one thing, but then, you know, the combat, I think by the end especially, and I'm sure clips are floating around more so now than they were, because I don't think they did a particularly good job at marketing this game at all. But by the time you get to the end of the game, the abilities with the skill trees and all these sorts of things, there's like way more cool things you can be doing that just makes the combat so much more interesting. And then, yeah, just the fact that I never played either Pillars of Eternity games, but like this game has piqued my interest highly into that world that I've like picked up both those games. And if I ever get a chance amongst the million other things to play and do, I would love to find time to play those as well, because I just found the lore and everything happening so intriguing. So yeah, you keen or?
Yeah, it's just a matter of squeezing it in somewhere. How long was it? I don't even think you mentioned that.
Oh, so I think you could probably rush the game in like probably 15 hours if I was to like guess, but I did it 25, 26, and I did all the side quests I could find. But that said, I mean, I've seen other people like saying 40 hours and stuff, so I'm sure I've missed.
Yeah, I've seen some people go down the rabbit hole and that kind of stuff. So
yeah, like I definitely didn't rush it, but at the same time, I wasn't like, oh man, I'll make sure to clear literally every.
You wanted 100%. No.
Yeah, I wasn't going for 100%, but I was like, I'm playing the game, you know. So, yeah. Which, to be honest, a game like this, I felt like I did a lot, and coming away 26 hours, I'm like, it's pretty good. Feels like a good run.
That's good.
Good amount of time for you know, this sort of game. Yeah. And then, yeah, on Game Pass, obviously, it's the big there, and probably on PlayStation
at some point in the future.
Yes.
Undated.
All right, let's run through the state of play that happened. I can't remember.
Thursday.
There you go. It was so it's the first state of play for the year. I mean, people were expecting some certain things because they leaked like the Metal Gear Solid.
Mm-hmm.
I think the important thing is like a lot of people still forget the difference between PlayStation. You know, Nintendo makes it easy. They'll be like, it's a Nintendo Indie Direct, and people are like, it's an indie game thing. And then they'll be like, this is a Nintendo Direct, and people are like, oh, we should expect Mario and stuff. People think state of play, but where you get the big PlayStation news is always the PlayStation. I think they just call them showcase.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's their big one
at E3, which is dead, and that's why they haven't done any.
Well, I think they did one last year. They did a showcase
I
stream
don't think
or
they
whatever.
did.
Yeah, but the state of plays are there. Like, it's I don't think you're meant to go into them expecting a bunch of PlayStation big titles and stuff. So sometimes people do like that. Nonetheless,
unless they specifically say. They did specifically say it was like 40 minutes long, so I mean that's a reason to get hopes up that maybe they'll do something PlayStation related, please.
Well, they did several things PlayStation related. I just think people want certain things. What do you make of this?
It was fine. There were some cool things. There were some things that didn't obviously interest me at all. It ended on a very cool reveal. You know, I don't think it's going to move the needle as in people's opinions on PlayStation at the moment. But I think there's a little bit of optimism for this year in PlayStation.
I mean, there's some cool like reveals, but I guess there's not like anything too massive.
Like they didn't show the 2 big games that we believe are coming out this year.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. There's no
No Ghost of Yotai and no Death Stranding.
No.
On the beach.
Yeah. Which doesn't surprise me because the same day they announced that they were doing the state of play.
That's true.
Kojima announced he was doing that South by Southwest thing.
Of course he is. That's such a Kojima thing to do. It's like, I want to do a panel at a massive, well-regarded film festival, so I can cast my next video game.
Pretty much. So it starts with Monster Hunter Wilds. Announced a new beast for it. Announced there's a new beta. Then PlayStation shut down, so good for them. Shinobi Art of the Vengeance was announced.
Yes.
So this is following.
Well, it was announced at the Game Awards
a couple of years ago.
This was like a proper
trailer for it.
Proper trailer, yeah.
Looks very, very cool. It's coming August 28th. I think the art style on this looks stellar. I love the colors and the I don't know, it's like I don't even know how I'd describe the art style, to be honest. Like pastel-y or something. It's very cool though. Very cool. Like, look at that.
Very distinct.
Very distinct. We then got Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. This actually looks pretty cool, I think. Kart racing game. These games have their fans. This one's going to have, I think, a couple key things, which is you've got the rings in the world where the leader of the race can pick a ring to go through, and it's like you'll transport the race through to a different part. So that'll mean that each race doesn't feel exactly the same because a different person could do different things and all these sorts of elements. What was the big thing? Oh, they're bringing in I can't remember, gear. I think it's the Sonic gear. Something, but basically things that look like snowboards that is from some of the previous Sonic racing games. And then the other thing that's big for this one is that all characters will be able to race in all carts. Basically, in previous games, certain carts are locked to certain characters. It's like you can't just mix and match and all that sort of stuff. So now it's like go wild. So that'll be cool. Bandai Namco announced Digimon Story Time Stranger. I'm very keen for this. I actually played. I played the last one. Probably, I don't know, 60 to 80 hours.
Survive.
Cyber Sleuth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not the last Digimon game. Digimon Survive. The last Digimon story game, which is they're basically like more proper RPGs. You know, like turn-based RPGs. I played it on the Vita. Shoutouts. Yeah. I think it was like 2018 or something came out. But that game was very cool. I very much enjoyed the story in that, and it had this cool element. However, the big difference between this one and that one is that in that game it was basically like it was called Cyber Sleuth because you were trying to figure out like all this hacking and stuff, and you would enter the digital world as far as like you'd go into this digital cyberspace, but not. You never actually went to the Digimon world. In this game, you are going fully to the other side, fully to Digimon world. And the trailer, I think it looks great. Like it looks a lot better, obviously, than the last game, considering that was made for. I think it was made for the Vita first, and then ported to some other things. Obviously, there's like some technical limitations, but you know, there's a couple parts in the trailer here where you see a bunch of Digimon on the screen at the same time, and you see some turn-based battle stuff and. For anyone, I think the thing is, I saw some people online being like, "What's the difference between this and Pokemon?" It's more like because you like, yes, you can. Did you ever watch Digimon?
Yeah.
So it's like instead of just like you get like Orgamon, whatever, and, like you level him up until he evolves into his third form. He can like you can fuse similar to how you could in like a Persona game. You fuse the Digimon with different other Digimon to get different results and versions and stuff like that. Instead of just it's a straight like level up path. So I think I didn't get all the trophies because it was fucking time consuming and I stopped. But with the last one, there was like, I don't know, 300-400 versions of Digimon you had to get by, you know, transforming them all together and stuff like that. And it was like, good lord, I can't do this. So yeah, came for that. Lost Soul Aside got its release date trailer. Obviously, this has been in development for what feels like 10 years. Or at least that's what it feels like. Original China Hero project.
Yep.
It's like dropped that moniker though from all the trailers and stuff now. But originally was being made by one person. Now it's got a team and stuff like that and whatever else. Very fast-paced combat, very anime, vibes and whatever else. May 30th for that one though. So, Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii got another trailer. A demo of the game is available now. Or I think it was the 21st here, but I'm pretty sure that's wrong. Dave the Diver cross.
It's coming out the 21st. That's probably where your dates mixed up.
Yeah, I got my dates mixed up. Dave the Diver cross Like a Dragon DLC was also announced.
Crazy.
Very cool. Wild announcement. The premise for this is basically that Ichiban is like, I'm gonna go on a holiday, and he brings the I don't think he actually has a name. He's just the owner of the bar or whatever is, from the last two Yakuza games.
Yeah.
That guy
from the one in Japan or the one in Hawaii?
Japan.
Japan, yeah. That makes sense.
He brings him with him. And then when they get to the bar, that dude, there's like a shot in the trailer where it's like him and the bar owner at the Dave the Diver's bar, like facing off. Apparently they get into an argument over bar stuff. And then they I don't know. And then apparently there's a plot against like people like kidnapping dolphins or some shit that Ichiban gets involved in. I read like
a side-scrolling beat 'em up.
Yeah, then there's like a side-scrolling beat 'em up element. It's like, yeah. April that comes out. So, I mean, this mixes two games you really like. You must be keen for this.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a while since I touched Dev Diver. I never got around to doing the Godzilla content, so I'm pretty sure that's still available. I downloaded it. So.
As long as you downloaded it, right? I think.
Surely.
Should be good. Splitgate 2 got a trailer. Alpha for that begins this week on the 25th. WWE 2K25 got a trailer focused on the island. The MMO, basically, arena. 50 players, Ash, can explore together.
No, is it 50?
It's 50, I heard.
Okay.
Just to clarify, it's 50 that will be able.
And what platforms is it coming?
It's on PS5 and Xbox Series XS. The PS4 version of the game does not get this content.
Oh, okay.
How do you feel about that, though? Isn't that weird?
No, fuck the PS4.
Yeah, no.
It's been long enough,
Yeah, no.
And
but wouldn't you just drop it? Like, I feel like it's
as a whole. No, I think there is enough people still with only PS4s that
I mean, people are gonna buy this and get annoyed though.
It's like they continue to just drop Just Dance on the Wii.
True.
So
now you would get this more than me because people just keep calling it like some other mode from another 2K mode. What's the point of this?
So it's like the city in NBA 2K, in which you can go around and spend VC, which is credits, which you can then buy with real money if you want to speed things up.
Love that.
So, I guess this is them trying to find a way to further capitalize on the game and make more money. But in my dreams, hopefully, it eventually leads to a standalone just platform rather than an annual release.
World.
Unlikely ever to ever happen, but yeah,
Yeah. Borderlands 4 new trailer. This one was better than the last one, I think, just because it looked more like actual Borderlands, and the last trailer was like
they didn't confuse us with realistic CGI.
Yeah, I was like, what?
For no apparent reason. Yeah.
But this was just more of a straight gameplay trailer. It showed them, like a bunch of guns. It showed the grappling gun and double jump and all these new things that is going to be in this one. And then Randy Pitchford pulled out a magic deck card that said Borderlands 4 State of Play coming later this year. So. He didn't actually do that. That's just how
You imagined it.
The game will be released on September 25th as well. You excited to learn more about Borderlands, or?
I mean, maybe. It's hard to tell.
You've already, Ash.
yeah. I mean, I feel like we're just being cautiously optimistic at the moment about Borderlands. Whether it can recapture what everybody enjoyed about the earlier games after 3, which got such a mixed reaction. So
I know it's a fun. When I think back on 3, I feel like everyone just like. I don't feel like I remember seeing bad reviews of it or good reviews. It was just like it came out and then people were like, yeah, and then nothing.
it's like we really didn't like those villains. That was kind of all you heard about it.
Yeah.
And then of course they had the Tales from the Borderlands sequel or new entry, which I didn't like at all. So hopefully somebody else is writing this game.
Yeah, who knows? Split Fiction got a trailer coming March 6th. Cool trailer. Excited for the game.
Yeah, excited. Didn't need to see anymore, really.
Showed a lot. Did show a lot. Directive 8020. This is the next entry in the Dark Pictures series from Supermassive Games. However, instead of calling them now the Dark Pictures Directive 8020, they're just calling it Directive 8020, and it's Dark Pictures is like a little subtitle, I would say. I think they're just trying to maybe they're worried that people think that you have to play them all. Maybe that some marketing person was like they did a test or something, and that was the feedback they got, which could be a thing. I don't know. If you call a bunch of games of Dark Pictures, people think they have to start with one to get into it, I guess. But this basically just looks like the thing, but on a spaceship. So I'm fine with that. October 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Five Nights at Freddy's Secrets of the Mimic is a game that comes out June 16th. It would not be a PlayStation State of Play about a Five Nights at Freddy's game.
No.
Yeah.
Always need to be one there,
It does feel like there are one.
Unofficial mascot.
The Midnight Walk got a trailer. The Dark Fantasy Claymation thing comes out to PS5, PSVR 2 on May 6th. Looks very cool. You're not going to play this because it's probably too scary. But I mean, do you reckon that at least appreciate the?
I can appreciate
art style we have here. Yeah,
I can appreciate the art style and the animation that went into it.
Yeah.
Can't appreciate the vibes.
No. Darwin's Paradox is a game from Konami's publishing, which is quite odd, I feel. But anyway, so he plays Darwin. He's like snatched up from sea and thrown into a food factory, and you're escaping it. So it's basically a remake.
You missed the key point here.
What?
You're an octopus.
Oh, sorry, you're an octopus. You're not. I mean, just every time, it's just Abe's Odyssey. Like it's.
Yeah, I guess you could see that.
You're in a factory. You're there to be turned into food.
You got like a massive forehead.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing. Warriors Abyss was announced. It's shadow dropped as well. It's a roguelike spin on the Warriors franchise. Lots of enemies on the screen, apparently. Lots of people were streaming it, I saw. I think that's just because it was a brand new game to shadow drop. But
it's currently sitting at a 57 on Open Critic.
What? I mean, yeah. Onimusha 2 Samurai's Destiny got a trailer. This is the remaster of the second game. Looked like a remaster of a PS2 game. And then Onimusha Way of the Sword got another trailer. This was after the teaser trailer at the Game Awards, and then they showed another really small teaser trailer in the Capcom Showcase, which was like a week or two ago, whatever that was. Now here's another trailer. Game's still coming in 2026, and you'd think it was releasing in 2 weeks. The man of the trailer business. I like this one more than the rest of them. Though. I felt like this was the most full of all the trailers. Also, I really appreciate that it actually, like, instead of just being like, oh, here's another fucking samurai game. We've got a million of these. I like the injection of comedy into it. That's got me at least like, oh, it's not. That's different. That's different enough. Then we got Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. Got a trailer that actually leaked already. The game's coming out August 28th. It's going to have the Ape Escape content. And, on PlayStation it will. Yeah. Showed a lot. I'm still like, I don't really know. Don't really think I need to play this.
Seem to be a lot of characters.
There's always a lot of characters, Ash,
I guess it's a
Kojima game.
Yes, that's what the words I was looking for.
I see a lot of people getting hyped for this, but I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Still that weird thing. I'm like, Kojima wanted us to move on, guys. Like, like, let's move on. Hell Is Us got a new trailer. Comes out September 8th. I still don't know what the fuck's going on in this game, but I'm intrigued.
Mm-hmm.
There's more characters in this than the last one. The last trailer made it seem like there was only you roaming around looking like you're in the Death Stranding game with your little thing on your back and drones and whatever else, exploring this wasteland or whatever's going on. This one has a bunch of other characters, including a character that looks like they're from a Kojima game, which is the dude with the big ass chin smoking a cigarette or whatever's going on there. Yeah, I mean, what do you make of this game? What is this game?
What? Dreams of Another?
No, Hell Is Us.
Oh, Hell Is Us. Sorry. I have absolutely no idea. It's a first-person shooter?
It's not even first-person shooter. It's why am I asking you? Liza P. Overture was the next thing they announced as DLC expansion.
It's a third-person shooter. My bad.
Listen,
I don't appreciate that somehow you've messed up this article, so no other trailers are showing in the article.
I don't know why they're doing that.
Yes.
Some of them are.
Yes.
I don't know why it's done that, but yeah. Very odd.
Very odd, yes. Anyway.
I'll fix it. I don't know how to fix it, but I'll fix it. Liza P is getting, the DLC. Apparently it's set before the game. Comes out some point this year. Then Dreams of Another, the new game from Q.
It's also a third-person shooter.
That is a third-person shooter, you are correct. Built around the idea of no creation without destruction. Use a gun in this game to build the world or reveal the world or something. Coming to PS5 and PSVR 2 this year. This looks really cool. I think this is another one of the highlights of the show. Very intriguing little SBS game. Then we got Days Gone Remastered. For some reason, we'll get VRR support and PS5 Pro support. Bunch of other features. It's going to cost you $10 to upgrade, but not if you own the PlayStation Plus version, as everyone keeps going on about today. Which I don't know why that's a surprise. Like, haven't we been through this enough fucking times?
Yes.
Like, good lord, just like
you didn't pay for it, so tough luck.
Yeah, like I can't.
And then that's just confusing on all because then you'll lose access if you like stop using PS Plus. Just buy it again.
Yeah, so what? You pay $10 to upgrade, but then if you unsubscribe to PS Plus, you lose access. And then people would be mad. They'd be like, yeah, but I paid $10. It's like, well, you didn't fucking...
Yeah.
Goodness me.
Very weird choice to remaster this game, but it does give hope to other games that will never get a sequel. Like Bloodborne.
Yeah, I'll take that. Stellar Blade and Goddess of Victory Nikki DLC was announced. It's a crossover with the mobile game Goddess of Victory Nikki.
Mm-hmm. Comes
out June, alongside the PC port. PS Plus catalog, they announced that Lost Records Binding Rage will launch today by the time you're listening to it. So they'll be out, and then you're also getting Blueprints when that comes out, and then you're getting a Biotic Factor, and that's all going to launch as well. PS Plus Classics catalog, Armored Core games, and Patapon 3 are coming. Good-o. Tides Annihilation, new game. Looks like a Souls-like. I'm not sure. Could just be a third-person action game. Too hard to tell these days.
Mm-hmm.
I like the setting of this one, though. It's like it's a set in modern London, but then you're like traveling the medieval back and forth. I don't know what's going on. That was the only part that stood out to me. Metal Eden, fast-paced FPS, loud trailer. Comes out May 6th. Bang, bang, shooty, shooty. Mind's Eye. So this is from Builder Rocket Boy, which I still think is a dumb developer title. I don't like saying it. So it's helmed by Leslie Benzies, which is the former one of the lead developers, producers on the GTA games. So this showed a trailer, gameplay trailer, stuff like that. Basically looks like Grand Theft Auto crossed with The Division. What did you make of this?
I mean, it looked cool in the moment. It looked like a Grand Theft Auto thing. It's just when you go, you read more about it, it's very confusing as to what this actually is. Is it a campaign within the game? Will it be standalone? Is it a game within the engine?
They said it's a single player game.
Yeah, but do you need to own anywhere to play it?
No, don't think so.
Still confusing. But props to them for being ambitious and going after the biggest dog in the yard,
Yeah.
Trying to compete with Grand Theft Auto,
It is weird because they announced everywhere several years ago now. That obviously hasn't come out, and then they announced another game. I'm like, well, I don't know.
Finish one thing first.
Finish one? Fuck no. And then the show ended with the reveal of Saros, which is the new game from Housemarque, spiritual successor, not a direct sequel to that. Rahul Kohli is playing the lead in the game here. The pitch is you'll come back stronger, and they have said that this will be built into the gameplay, so it should make it at least somewhat easier, more approachable for people who couldn't get into Returnal because of the difficulty factor of it. But this one, you will be more like a proper roguelike where you will be able to like upgrade your gear and stats or whatever between deaths, so you will get stronger somewhat stronger each time, hopefully making the battles easier and just opening up the idea, I guess, of if you're really bad, you can just grind until it's easy enough. How do you feel about that?
It gives me. I'm more likely to play it. It's like I feel like I'm always progressing rather than always having to get better. Get good. I can just rest on my laurels and wait till I get enough power ups. To get past whatever thing is stopping me from getting past it.
Did you ever actually? I can't remember. Did you ever try Returnal?
No, I didn't.
You were just like,
the bullet hell stuff.
Well, this will be bullet hell, but with upgrades.
It's like I can't dodge. I can't parry. I can't dodge. That's not going to work.
What can you do?
Can enjoy a good story.
Okay. Yeah. I just want to know. I just opened up edit article, didn't do anything, click publish again, and now the video's loading.
Oh, thanks a lot.
I know. So
WordPress.
I was about to say, who am I blaming for that? I'm going to blame WordPress because it's fucking weird, eh? I've never seen it do that before. But first for everything. I thought it might have just been me. I thought my computer was just fucking up and not loading. But then when you said something, I'm like, oh no, there's something wrong with it. But it wasn't doing that when I posted it because I remember looking at it. Oh, fucking weird. Whatever. Yeah. I mean, that's it for this week's show. Obviously, Avowed, big thing. Would if I hadn't been in Brisbane with you for the last few days, having a wild time, would have had Lost Records review up. So that's why not that it. I can see reviews are starting to drop now. I think they should be. I think I swore I saw one. Yeah, I did see one 8 minutes ago.
They're starting to come in.
They're starting to come in now. So, but yeah, talk about that next week. Yeah, and we'll talk about also be sure to we'll record. We're skipping Arcade Couch between the questions this week to push it next week, so me and Ash can catch Kieran up with all our stories about AEW
shenanigans.
So catch that, shenanigans next week. Catch that in between the questions next week. That'll be exciting as well. All right, until next week, have a good time, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye.